Today's video is going to be brought to you by Squarespace. Yo, what's going on everybody? It's your boy Naruto Explain here, bringing you guys another Boruto Naruto Next Generation discussion on the fallout from Boruto Chapter 80, and today I want to talk to you guys about a rather interesting fan theory that I got submitted to me over on the Patreon account that I think will have ramifications on the series moving forward. As we all know, all signs point towards Boruto Chapter 80 as having been the last chapter before the time skip, especially considering the new Boruto manga volume will have an additional chapter and the cost will be more than the standard manga volumes for Boruto. At least over in Japan, the price will go up. This has only been done a couple times in the Naruto franchise before, where we got an extra chapters in a volume, like with Naruto Volume 43, where the price tag was higher than normal, and in V-Jump magazine, even though there are no Boruto chapters in the magazine, there are literally recaps and notes placed in the magazine for chunks of the Boruto story, which is only something that's happening if you're going to catch readers up in every issue between now and the September issue that comes out in August, which means you're going into a time skip. So with that out the way, my patron hit me up a while ago with a list of theory idea discussions, and one of the ones that really stood out to me is that Sarada and Sumire's bond and how these two will be training together, and how Sumire is going to help Sarada train in a very specific way during the time skip. And I think my patron's on to something here. So the suggestion in question is that we take a look at why Sumire is going to work with Sarada and use ninja tech to enhance Sarada's combat abilities. That's very short and sweet and to the point. I love it when it's like that. But here's the thing, I know where Black Guy is going with this, because I've seen him comment under some of my other Naruto lore videos set in the Boruto era. So I know that he's aware that there are seeds planted in both Boruto's manga and in the light novels that set Sarada up to being open to the idea of using ninja tech to grow stronger. On the face level, it makes sense. Kawaki is that floor boss that they're preparing to take on at some point later on down the road. But right now, Sarada and Sumire both know that they're in no way, shape, form strong enough to even think about challenging him right now due to how much stronger than them Kawaki actually is. Both of them have to keep their intentions hidden, or else Kawaki will use Sukuna Hikona to shrink down and wait for the right moment when they're alone in their bedrooms at night to penetrate them with his ninja tech extension from behind and push their guts in while he kills them. Neither of them wants that outcome, which is why they'll have to do the most ninja thing ever and hide their intentions and rely on deception to keep themselves flying under the radar. Their enemy is a literal cyborg filled with so much ninja tech that is light years ahead of anything Konoha has been able to develop, despite Konoha having the best ninja tech in the 5 nations. It's not by mistake that Sumire has been working in the ninja tech department under Sasuke and learning at such a rapid rate that it's been noted how useful she is in that department. The same with her being Amado's assistant, learning the ninja tech that Amado brought to Konoha, as well as spying on Amado for Shikamaru. That being said, I want to say this now because I can already see somebody typing in the comment section because they jumped the gun. I'm not raising the idea of a cyborg Sarada. None of us want that. And honestly, I don't think that that happens. And I'm 100% sure that my patron wasn't going there when they made this suggestion, just based off interactions I've had with him before. And given the fact that Black Guy is a writer, I'm pretty sure that's not where he's going. However, I do think I know where he's taking this, which is basically that Sarada takes a page out of the book that we know for certain Kakashi did during the blank period, where he began to have all the technology that was added into Konoha and allowing private companies, including Katasuke's company, to start researching the enhanced Hashirama cells that Tsunade made after the Ninja War. We learned in the Kakashi Retsuden novel, which takes place before Sasuke Retsuden, that this is part of the way that Kakashi leveled up his power level during the time after the 4th Ninja War and got stronger than he was at any point during the 4th Ninja War. It's because Kakashi made it a point to literally go visit the Ninja Weapons Tech department and have them use their science to study his chakra levels, his chakra expenditure, and give him scientific data to suggest things he can do to become better with his chakra, and use other ways to use chakra in order to make his jutsu more potent, and ways to train using this data in order to break through his own limits, which is why Kakashi was able to briefly overwhelm the 6-pass chakra stored inside of a weapon that takes place in that novel. I want to say this too. We know that Sarada is aware of this method because Sasuke told Sarada in the Sasuke Shinin teaches star pupil story that this was a method that he begun using, allowing the ninja tech department to study his output and look at his jutsu to find more refined methods to make new jutsu. One jutsu in particular was the Lorentz gun, which uses lightning release chakra amped up with chakra control to the maximum, and it allowed Sasuke to take a simple kunai, and by spinning the kunai in the air and using complex lightning release chakra at high speeds, he was able to shoot off the kunai via extreme chakra control to a point where he was able to slice a cliff in half with how fast it was actually traveling through the air, and the lightning release running through the blade ran at such a high level that the kunai exceeded the cutting power of Sasuke Chidori's sword. In the Momoshiki battle against Fused Momoshiki, if you look at Sasuke closely, you see Sasuke spinning his sword just above his foot and shooting it off like a projectile at Momoshiki at rapid speeds, extremely similar to the jutsu Sasuke told Sarada the ninja tech department helped him create. Given this scene takes place afterwards, after the Momoshiki fight, there's a strong possibility what we saw was an incomplete version of the jutsu being used against Momoshiki, since it literally behaves in a way very similar to how the jutsu is described in the story. The idea of Sarada using that ninja tech to level up in this manner, it's something that can work narratively. Sumire has the data of Kawaki via the data that Katasuke presented to the 5 Kage. Sarada has sparred with Kawaki. She's seen the way he uses ninja tech in battle. Sarada is the one person who has enough info from a combat perspective to tweak whatever it is that Sumire is able to come up with in terms of the battle and the battle training itself. When we also factor in Sarada and Sumire are not going to be under the effects of the Shinjutsu, we get another boost because this tells us that Sarada and Sumire will be able to look at all that data that Amato brought back to Konoha, data that has a plethora of knowledge about Kawaki, since Amato is the one who made him into a cyborg, and that data is something the two of them can look at without the Shinjutsu telling them to ignore everything they're seeing, since reading Kawaki's name would make everyone else under the Shinjutsu think that all this information is wrong because the name should read Boruto and not Kawaki. I think between these two things, you have a realistic answer on how these two can level up to another level of power while they train during the time skip. In fact, in universe, Sumire suggesting this method makes even more sense when we consider what we learned in the anime, where it was stated that Sumire joined the ninja tech department to better learn how to control Nue's power. There could be something to this with Sarada and Sumire training Sarada specifically for this reason, since between the two of them, she is the one most likely to enter that tier of power needed to fight against Otsutsuki. Take a look at what we do know. We know that Sarada is willing to use ninja tech in the sparring match against Boruto and Mitsuki. We know that the ninja tech department has made ninja tech like the smoke bombs that specifically blind dojutsu and obstruct their powers, so it makes sense that Sarada and Sumire look at things that already exist and find a way to add it to the ninjutsu arsenal of Sarada. Those smoke bombs were already enough that Ishiki's Byakugan and his unnamed dojutsu that Konoha had no information about, neither of those things were able to actually find Kawaki once the smoke bomb was used. While that would also mean it blinds Sarada's Sharingan, there could be another workaround to using something of this manner. That's the whole point of using science, testing out a hypothesis, finding a solution, and going through and experimenting with the different variables that you have. As Naruto said to Boruto, and as Sasuke said to Boruto in the Sasuke Shinen Teaches Star Pupil story, ninja tech at the end of the day, they're merely tools meant to be used alongside your previously existing ninjutsu. They're meant to augment your jutsu and fighting style. They're meant to supplement your fighting style, but they're not meant to replace the fighting methods of shinobi. Very similar to how if you're taking supplements and using protein shakes and etc., it's not meant to replace your overall diet. It's not meant to replace any exercise. It's literally meant to supplement. Naruto and Sasuke both preaching finding balance to Boruto, something that the villains in Boruto have not done, including Kawaki himself, who as he's gained more power has abandoned the way of the shinobi. The villains, especially Kara Inners, all over-relied on their ninja tech and the advantages that it gave them. Even those who used to be shinobi like Victor and Boro, they still over-relied on the ninja tech to a point where it dulled their shinobi senses and it ultimately cost them. Kashi and Koji, on the other hand, Koji stayed true to the way of the shinobi, fitting since he is Jiraiya's clone. We saw what it looked like when a person combined science and ninjutsu together. Koji's body was mechanically enhanced by science because, like all the other Kara Inners, he is a cyborg. However, he's also a clone of Jiraiya. It wasn't by mistake that the perfect blend of ninjutsu and science, which is what Naruto and Sasuke said should be the case when using ninja tools, did the best against Jigen, albeit it was a weakened Jigen, but narratively the symbolism is there because Kashin Koji represents what Naruto and Sasuke talked about, a blend between science augmenting what's already there for a shinobi. You could have Sarada and Sumire take that next leap forward to push the narrative there, especially considering we already saw Sarada and Kawaki clash over how they should be training. Sarada because she wants to train in the traditional way of the shinobi, and Kawaki wanting to go back to the methods of Kar. I don't think this is anything that readers of the franchise should be upset over, and realistically it feels like the logical way to explain how she was able to level up. It's not too unlike people using ChatGPT to start picking stocks for them, and the ChatGPT fund that people are running as an experiment right now is actually outperforming the S&P 500 index funds. So that's a real world example of what's being suggested. If Kakashi was able to use this method to success, and so is Sasuke, Sarada with a clear focus and all the data that Sumire has from Amado's files on a literal Otsutsuki should be able to cook something up to levels them up to the level they need to get. And that's going to be on top of whatever training that Sarada does during the time skip. This is one of those times where more than likely they're going to have to catalog all their mistakes and their trials and errors. And the best way to do that is to make sure that they build some type of a website on Squarespace, which is the sponsor of today's video. If you've ever thought about creating your own website, Squarespace needs to be the first place that you head to when you decide to get started, because Squarespace gives people a powerful and beautiful online platform to help you create your own personal website. By using Squarespace to create your own website, you can connect with your audience and generate revenue through gated members only content. You can manage memberships, send email communications, and leverage audience insights, all on an easy to use platform. Create a community on your Squarespace website with a fully integrated commenting system that supports threaded comments, replies, and likes. Use their powerful blogging tools to categorize, share, and schedule your posts too. Extend Squarespace already powerful e-commerce capabilities with Squarespace extensions. These new third-party tools can help you manage inventory, promote products, streamline bookkeeping, reconcile and file sales tax, and ship items across the globe. You can even display posts on your social media platforms onto your website, automatically push website content to your favorite social media channels so your followers can share it too. Go to squarespace.com for a free trial, and when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/Naruto Explain to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or a domain. Thank you again to Squarespace for sponsoring today's video.